Hello, everyone. I'm really glad you're here with me today. Before we begin, if you enjoy learning English through slow, clear conversations, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps this podcast grow and reach more learners around the world. Now, let's get started with today's episode of the Slow English podcast. Learning English can feel like a big journey, but it doesn't have to be stressful. In fact, it can be simple, enjoyable, and even relaxing when you approach it the right way. Today, I want to share with you some of the best ways to learn English fast, based on real experiences, real habits that truly work, and methods that thousands of learners around the world use every single day. These tips are practical, realistic, and something you can start using immediately, no matter where you live or what your current level is. When I first started learning English, I didn't feel confident at all. I remember sitting in my room, listening to English, and not understanding almost anything. The words felt too fast. The sentences felt too long. I wondered if I would ever be able to speak clearly. But things began to change the moment I made English a small part of my daily life, not something big or complicated. Just something small and consistent. One of the most effective habits I developed was listening to English every single day. Not for hours, not with pressure, just a few minutes at a time. I listened while cleaning my room, walking outside, or even while making breakfast. I listened to slow English podcasts, simple stories, and short conversations. Slowly. Something interesting happened. The words started to sound familiar. The sentences became easier to understand. And for the first time, I felt like English wasn't something far away. It was something I could learn, step by step. Listening is powerful because it trains your brain to recognize patterns. The more you listen, the more natural English sounds to you. You learn how real people speak, how they pause, how they connect words, and how they express emotions. Even if you don't understand everything, you're building a strong foundation. Many language experts say that listening is the key to learning fast, and I believe that is absolutely true. Another habit that helped me learn quickly was practicing speaking. Even when I was alone, many learners wait until their English is perfect before speaking. But the truth is, English becomes better because you speak, not the other way around. I talked to myself while cooking. I repeated new words out loud. I described what I was doing, like I'm washing the dishes, or I'm getting ready to go outside. It may sound simple, but speaking out loud trains your mouth and your mind to work together. It builds confidence. It teaches you to think in English instead of translating from your native language. And you know what? Mistakes didn't matter. I made many mistakes, but they helped me grow. Every mistake showed me where I needed to improve. Every small correction moved me forward. So don't be afraid to speak. The only mistake you can make is staying silent. Reading also changed the way I learned. I didn't start with big novels or difficult books. I started with children's books, picture stories, very short articles, and simple texts online. These materials were easy to understand and full of useful vocabulary. When you read simple English, you build your vocabulary faster because you see words in clear, easy to understand contexts. You learn how sentences are formed and how ideas are expressed. And when something is easy to understand, you stay motivated to keep going. There was one book I still remember. It was a short story about a boy and his little dog. The story wasn't difficult, but it kept me interested. Every time I finished a page, I felt proud. That feeling of progress was what pushed me to read more. And reading more helped me learn faster. Writing played a big role too. I kept a small notebook, just like many successful learners do. I wrote a few sentences every day about my life, what I did, what I felt, what I learned. Sometimes I wrote about simple things like the weather or what I ate for lunch. Other times I wrote about my goals and dreams. Writing helped me remember new words. It helped me express my thoughts. It helped me connect English to my real life. Watching English videos was another enjoyable habit. Not everything I watched was educational. Some were cartoons, some were simple shows, and some were slow conversation videos like this podcast. Watching helps you learn how people speak in real situations. You learn pronunciation, rhythm, tone, and natural expressions. It also makes learning fun, which is extremely important if you want to stay consistent. Speaking with people helped me improve even faster. Not everyone has English-speaking friends in real life, and that's okay. There are many online communities, forums, and learning groups where people around the world connect to practice English. When I practiced with others, I learned how to express myself better. I learned how to explain my thoughts clearly, and I learned how to listen and respond naturally. Each conversation made me better. Patience was one of the biggest lessons I learned. English is not something you master in 1 week or 1 month. It's a journey. Some days you learn fast. Some days you feel slow. Both are normal. What matters is that you keep going. Consistency beats perfection every time. A small but powerful tool that supported me was a dictionary. Whenever I found a new word, I looked it up immediately. I learned how to pronounce it and used it in a sentence. Some learners use apps instead of paper dictionaries now, and that works great too. The important thing is to stay curious and keep learning little by little. Games also made English more fun. Word games, puzzles, quizzes, they all helped me learn without pressure. When learning feels like a game, your brain is more relaxed and remembers things better. And one more thing, thinking in English. This is a skill that takes time, but once it becomes natural, your English improves very quickly. When you think in English, you don't translate. You speak faster, you understand faster, and you feel more confident. Start with small thoughts like, I'm hungry. This is nice. Or, what time is it? And slowly, your mind will switch languages naturally as you continue learning. One of the most helpful habits you can build is setting small, clear goals. Goals give you direction. They give you something to focus on, something to work toward. You don't need big goals at the beginning. In fact, small goals are easier to follow and much more motivating. You can start with simple goals, like learning 5 new words a day, listening to a 5-minute English podcast, or reading 1 short page before bed. When you reach these goals, you feel proud. That pride gives you energy to keep going. Goals keep you moving forward, even on days when you feel tired or discouraged. Reviewing what you learn is another powerful habit. Many learners think they only need to learn new things, But the truth is, reviewing helps your memory become stronger. Looking back at your old notes, practicing old vocabulary, or re-listening to a story you heard before helps the information stay in your long-term memory. I remember reviewing my notes once a week. Sometimes I read them slowly. Sometimes I repeated the words out loud. Each review helped me remember the words better. Each review made my English stronger. Staying positive is something many learners forget about. Some days you may feel frustrated because you don't understand a sentence or because you still make mistakes. But it's okay. It's part of the journey. Staying positive doesn't mean you never feel tired or stressed. It simply means you believe in yourself, even when the process feels slow. When you stay positive, you learn faster and you enjoy the journey more. Mistakes are also a very important part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language, everyone. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. When you make a mistake, it's not a sign that you are bad at English. It's a sign that you are trying, you are learning, and you are improving. Mistakes show you what to work on next, so don't hide from them. Don't be embarrassed. Learn from them and keep going forward. Another useful tip is to surround yourself with English as much as possible. If you constantly see and hear English throughout your day, you will learn faster without even noticing. One simple way to do this is to change the language on your phone or your computer to English. At first, it may feel strange. You might not understand every word, but slowly, everything becomes familiar. You learn new words just by using your phone. You learn expressions you see every day. This small change can make a big difference. Repetition is also extremely important. When you repeat something many times, your brain remembers it better. Repetition helps you turn new words into familiar friends. It helps you speak more naturally and understand faster. I used to repeat words and sentences again and again until they felt comfortable. The more I repeated them, the more confident I became. But learning shouldn't feel boring. You can always make it fun. One way to do this is by singing English songs. Singing helps you remember vocabulary because music makes your brain more active and more relaxed at the same time. You can also make up your own short stories using new words. You can imagine situations and talk about them out loud. Turning learning into something enjoyable makes it easier to stay motivated for a long time. One of the best ways to remember new words is to use them immediately. When you learn a new word, try to use it in a sentence as soon as possible. Use it when you speak. Use it when you write. Use it when you think. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes in your memory. For example, if you learn the word amazing, use it to describe your day, the weather, a movie, or anything that makes sense. Using new words often helps them become part of your active vocabulary. Learning slowly is also okay. Many learners rush because they want to become fluent quickly. But going too fast can make you feel stressed. Learning is not a race. Taking your time allows you to understand deeply. Even learning one useful word a day is still progress. Even listening for 5 minutes a day is still progress. Small steps are still steps forward, and they add up over time. Keeping a journal can also help you learn faster. When you write about your day or your thoughts in English, You connect the language to your personal life. This connection makes the words more meaningful. The more meaningful the words are, the easier they are to remember. At first, you may write short sentences. Later, your sentences will become longer and more detailed. Your writing will slowly improve, and you will see your progress. Never be afraid to ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask. Asking shows that you are curious and that you want to improve. There are no silly questions in learning. Every question helps you grow. When I had questions, I asked teachers, friends, and even searched online, and each answer helped me understand English a little better. Sometimes you will feel tired. Sometimes you will feel frustrated. These feelings are normal. When this happens, don't quit. Take a short break, walk, relax, drink some water, then come back. Breaks help your mind rest so you can learn better afterward. Celebrating your progress is important too. Every time you reach a goal, no matter how small, celebrate it. Did you learn 5 new words today? Celebrate. Did you finish a short book? Celebrate. These moments remind you that you are improving. They give you energy to continue learning. Learning with others is another great way to stay motivated. You can learn with a friend, join study groups, or connect with people online. When you learn with others, you share ideas, help each other, and stay inspired. It feels easier when you know you're not alone. Listening to your own voice is another powerful tool. Record yourself reading or speaking. Then listen to the recording. You will hear your strengths and the areas you want to improve. At first, listening to your own voice may feel strange, but it helps you grow faster because it makes you more aware of how you sound. Another thing that helps many learners is avoiding comparison. It's easy to look at other people and think they are learning faster than you, but everyone learns at a different pace. Your journey is unique. What matters is your own improvement, your own effort, and your own progress. When you stop comparing and focus on yourself, learning becomes more enjoyable and much less stressful. Some days you will grow quickly, and some days you will grow slowly. Both are perfectly okay. Being creative is also a wonderful way to improve your English. Creativity makes learning fun and helps your brain remember new information more easily. You can draw pictures to represent new words, write simple poems, create small dialogues, or imagine conversations in different situations. When you use creativity, English becomes something playful, something you look forward to, not something you feel forced to study. Staying organized is another habit that can make a big difference. Keep your notes, vocabulary lists, and study materials in one place. Make a simple study schedule that fits your daily life. When your learning space is organized, your mind feels clearer and you learn more effectively. I used to keep my notes in a folder and update my vocabulary list every week. Seeing everything neatly organized helped me stay focused. Consistency is one of the most important ingredients for success. You don't need to study for hours every day. Even 10 minutes of English every day can create amazing results over time. What matters is that you show up regularly. Consistency builds strong habits. Consistency trains your brain. Consistency turns difficult things into natural skills. Some days you might study longer, and other days only a few minutes. That's okay. What matters is that you keep going. Being kind to yourself is something many learners forget. Learning a new language is challenging, and there will be days when things feel difficult. On those days, be gentle. Remind yourself that mistakes are normal. Remind yourself that improvement takes time. Remind yourself that you are already doing something impressive, learning a whole new language. When you are kind to yourself, you stay motivated and you enjoy the process more. Flashcards are another great tool. You can write the word on one side and the meaning on the other. You can use paper cards or apps on your phone. Flashcards let you practice vocabulary anywhere on the bus, during lunch, or while waiting in line. Reviewing flashcards regularly helps the words stay fresh in your mind. Over time, these small moments of practice create big improvements. Immersion is a powerful technique that helps you learn faster. Immersion doesn't mean you need to live in an English-speaking country. You can immerse yourself at home by filling your environment with English. Watch English videos, listen to English podcasts, label items in your room with English words, and try to think in English throughout the day. When English becomes part of your daily life, fluency grows naturally. Curiosity is a strong motivator. When you're curious, you want to learn more. You want to understand how words work, how people speak, and why certain expressions exist. Curiosity keeps learning exciting. I was always curious about new vocabulary. Whenever I heard an unfamiliar word, I wanted to know what it meant. This curiosity made learning feel like discovering something new every day. Reviewing your goals is another helpful practice. As you improve, your goals might change. Maybe you completed a goal and need a new one. Maybe your goal has become too easy or too difficult. Reviewing your goals helps you stay focused and gives you a clear direction. I used to review my goals every month. Some months I added new goals. Other months I adjusted my old ones. This kept my learning journey flexible and realistic. Online resources provide amazing support for learners today. There are websites, apps, videos, courses, and podcasts designed specifically to help you learn English. These tools offer interactive activities, quizzes, listening practice, and more. Using online resources makes learning more dynamic and enjoyable. I used many online tools when I was learning. They kept me motivated and made studying feel fresh and interesting. Learning about English-speaking cultures can also help you understand the language better. Language and culture are deeply connected. When you understand how people live, what they believe, what they celebrate, and how they communicate, you start to understand why certain expressions exist. Learning about traditions, holidays, common behaviors, or simple daily habits helps you connect emotionally with the language. When English becomes meaningful, learning becomes much easier. Another important tip is staying motivated. Motivation doesn't stay high all the time. Some days you'll feel inspired, and other days you won't. That's normal. The key is finding what keeps you going. Maybe it's a small reward, maybe it's a personal goal, maybe it's a friend who encourages you. I stayed motivated by celebrating small wins and reminding myself why I started learning in the first place. Think about your why. Why are you learning English? Once you know your reason, motivation becomes much stronger. Listening to different English accents can also help you improve your listening skills. English is spoken in many countries: America, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and more. Every region has its own accent, its own rhythm, its own way of speaking. Listening to different accents trains your ears. It prepares you for real conversations with real people from different backgrounds. Using English in real-life situations is one of the fastest ways to grow. If you travel, speak English. If you meet someone who knows English, try to talk to them. Real-life practice forces your brain to think quickly. It teaches you how to respond naturally. Even small interactions like ordering food, asking for directions, or introducing yourself help you build confidence. Connecting what you learn to your personal life is another powerful method. If you learn a new word, try to relate it to your day, your feelings, or your experiences. For example, if you learn the word excited, think about what makes you excited today. This connection makes the word stick in your memory. It becomes something meaningful, not just a random vocabulary item. Being open to new things is important too. English is always changing. New words appear, new expressions become popular, new ways of speaking develop. When you are open to learning new things, you stay flexible and fresh. This makes your English feel more natural and modern. Another very helpful habit is creating your own sentences whenever you learn new vocabulary. Many learners memorize words individually, but memorizing alone is not enough. Words grow stronger in your mind when you connect them to real thoughts. When you make your own sentences, you practice understanding the meaning, the grammar, and the context at the same time. I used to take every new word I learned and create 3 or 4 sentences using it. Sometimes the sentences were simple, sometimes they were a little funny. But that's what helped me remember the words better and use them naturally in conversation. Watching English television shows is another fun and effective way to learn. Shows reflect how real people speak in everyday situations. You hear natural expressions, common phrases, and real pronunciation patterns. When I watched shows, I didn't understand everything at first, but I focused on the tone, the rhythm, and the emotions. Over time, I started catching more phrases, recognizing more vocabulary, and understanding more conversations. Shows make learning feel more like entertainment than studying, which helps you stay engaged longer. Trying new things is also a powerful way to grow. If you've never listened to an English podcast before, try it. If you've never written a short story in English, try it. If you've never practiced speaking to yourself in the mirror, try it. New experiences help your brain form new connections. They push you to use English in fresh and exciting ways. When I stepped outside my comfort zone and tried new learning methods, I grew much faster than I expected. Podcasts, especially slow English podcasts, are great tools for learners at all levels. They help you practice listening at a comfortable pace. You can listen while walking, cooking, or relaxing. Podcasts help you train your ears to follow the language without the pressure of reading or watching something. When I listened to slow English podcasts every day, my listening skills improved much faster. I began to hear common patterns, recognize familiar words, and understand stories more easily. Focusing on one thing at a time can also make learning easier. Sometimes English can feel overwhelming because there are so many areas: speaking, reading, listening, writing, grammar, vocabulary. But you don't have to practice everything at the same time. You can choose one focus for the day. Maybe today you focus on pronunciation. Tomorrow you focus on vocabulary. The next day you practice listening. This approach helps you stay calm and makes learning more enjoyable. Finding joy in small successes is an important part of staying motivated. When you notice your progress, even the little moments, learning becomes much more rewarding. Maybe you understood a sentence you couldn't understand before. Maybe you said a word correctly for the first time. Maybe you read a story without stopping. These small victories matter. Recognizing them helps you stay motivated and excited to continue learning. Thinking of learning as an adventure also helps you enjoy the process. Every new word you learn is like a small treasure. Every new sentence you understand is a new step on the path. When you see learning as an exciting journey, you approach it with curiosity and enthusiasm instead of fear or pressure. I used to imagine English as a world full of new things to explore. That mindset helped me enjoy every moment of learning. Using learning apps is another great way to make progress faster. Apps offer interactive lessons, quizzes, mini-games, and practice activities. They let you learn anytime, anywhere. They make studying feel light and enjoyable. I used apps when I was learning, and they helped me review vocabulary, test my listening skills, and practice grammar in a simple and fun way. Taking breaks is necessary for long-term learning. Your brain needs time to rest and absorb new information. When you feel tired, don't push yourself too hard. Rest for a few minutes. Take a walk, drink water, relax your mind when you return to studying. You will feel refreshed and ready to learn again. I used to take short breaks whenever I felt overwhelmed. Instead of quitting, I paused and came back later. This helped me stay consistent without burning out. Using English in different ways is essential if you want to learn fast. Try to speak, read, write, and listen regularly. These 4 skills support each other. When you practice all of them, even in small amounts, your English becomes more balanced and natural. For example, reading helps your vocabulary. Listening helps your comprehension. Speaking helps your confidence. Writing helps your memory. Combining these skills makes your learning stronger. Taking notes is another simple but powerful strategy. Whenever you learn something new, whether it's a word, a sentence, or an idea, write it down. Taking notes helps you remember because writing activates a different part of your brain. Notes also give you something to review later. I carried a small notebook with me everywhere. Whenever I heard or saw a new word, I wrote it down. This small habit made a big difference in my progress. As you grow in your learning journey, you will discover that English is not just a subject. It becomes a part of your daily life. It becomes part of the way you see the world. And like a garden, it grows with patience, care, and regular practice. Every new word is like planting a small seed. Every sentence you speak is like watering that seed. Over time, your language garden begins to bloom beautifully. You will look back and feel proud of how far you've come. This journey is not only about learning grammar or memorizing vocabulary. It is about enjoying the process, discovering new ideas, and connecting with people. Learning English gives you access to stories, conversations, friendships, opportunities, and a wider world. Every step you take is meaningful, no matter how small it feels. And remember, you're not alone. Millions of people around the world are learning English every day. Some people learn slowly, some learn quickly. But all of them learn, just like you. Your journey is unique, and every step matters. When you stay curious, stay patient, and stay consistent, you will see progress, you will feel more confident, you will understand more, you will speak more naturally, and before you know it, English will feel like a comfortable part of your life. As you continue learning, try to bring English into your real-life moments. This is one of the most effective ways to make the language feel natural. For example, when you cook, think in English about what you're doing. I'm cutting the vegetables, or I'm boiling water. When you walk outside, describe what you see. The sky looks bright today, or there are many people at the park. These simple thoughts train your mind to use English automatically. The more you connect English to your daily life, the faster you become comfortable speaking and thinking in it. Another helpful practice is observing how native speakers express themselves. You can learn so much by paying attention to the words they choose, the tone they use, and the expressions they prefer. Even simple things like how people say, "I'm not sure," or "let me think," or "that sounds good," help you understand real-life communication. These phrases are common, natural, and used every day. When you learn them, you sound more confident and more fluent. Pay attention to how questions are asked, too. In real life, people often use short, simple questions like, "Are you ready?" "What's going on?" or "Do you want to go?" Learning these makes your English more natural and more responsive, especially in conversations. Another important tip is to practice shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speaking and repeat what they say at the same time or slightly after. This technique improves your pronunciation, rhythm, and speaking confidence. You can shadow podcasts, short videos, or simple stories. Start slowly, repeat small parts, and don't worry if you don't sound perfect. The goal is to train your mouth and ears to work together. Many language experts recommend shadowing because it helps you sound more like a natural speaker. Reading aloud is another powerful habit. When you read aloud, you practice pronunciation, clarity, and flow. You become more aware of how words sound together. Even reading for just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. Choose simple stories, short articles, or dialogues. Read them slowly and clearly. Over time, your voice will become smoother and more confident. Another great way to grow your English skills is learning phrases instead of only learning individual words. Native speakers use phrases all the time, simple groups of words that go together naturally. Phrases like, "by the way," "in my opinion," "at the moment," or "as far as I know," help your speech flow more naturally. Learning phrases helps you express ideas more clearly and confidently. It also helps you speak faster because you don't have to build every sentence from zero. Talking to yourself in English might feel strange at first, but it is one of the most effective ways to improve. You can talk about your day, your plans, your thoughts, or even your feelings. You can describe what happened at work, what you want to eat, or how the weather feels. Talking to yourself helps you think faster in English, practice new words, and build confidence without pressure. Another powerful tip is to use English as a tool rather than a subject. Many learners treat English like math or science, something to study. But English is a tool, something you use to communicate, understand ideas, and express yourself. When you start using English to learn other things, your fluency grows naturally. For example, watch cooking videos in English, learn about travel tips in English, listen to simple science videos in English. When English becomes part of your interests, learning feels natural and enjoyable. Try to challenge yourself with small steps. If you always listen to slow English, try listening to something a little faster once in a while. If you always speak using simple sentences, try adding one new phrase. If you always read short texts, try reading something slightly longer. These small challenges help you grow without feeling overwhelmed. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, just a little bit beyond what feels easy. Another useful technique is to create mental situations. Imagine yourself in a restaurant, ordering food. Imagine yourself at an airport, asking for help. Imagine yourself meeting someone new and introducing yourself. When you imagine situations and practice them, you prepare your mind for real conversations. Then, when the real situation happens, you feel confident and ready. Listening to yourself can also help you identify patterns. When you speak, record your voice and listen back. You may notice small mistakes or areas where you can improve. Maybe your pronunciation of a certain sound isn't clear. Maybe your sentences are too short. Maybe your tone sounds flat. Listening to yourself helps you understand your speaking style better. And the more aware you are, the faster you improve. Another helpful idea is to keep learning fun and flexible. If you feel bored with one method, switch to another. If reading feels tiring today, try listening. If listening feels heavy, try speaking. If speaking feels stressful, try writing. Keeping your learning flexible helps you stay motivated and avoid burnout. Try to practice English in different environments. Sometimes studying in your room is too quiet or too comfortable. Try going to a cafe, a library, a park, or even a different room in your house. Changing your environment helps your brain stay active and engaged. It also makes learning feel fresh. Another great habit is to celebrate your English moments. Maybe today you understood a joke in English. Maybe you communicated with a foreigner. Maybe you read a short article without stopping. These moments matter. They show you that you are growing. They prove that your effort is working. Celebrating these moments, even privately, helps you stay motivated. Finding people with the same goal can also make learning easier. Join online communities, forums, or study groups. Share your progress, ask for help, encourage others. When you are part of a community, learning feels lighter and more enjoyable. And remember, progress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's slow, but it is still progress. Every word you learn today becomes part of your knowledge tomorrow. Every minute you practice today becomes confidence later. Fluency is built little by little, step by step. Another great way to grow quickly is to pay attention to real-life English around you. Even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, there are signs, labels, instructions, menus, and websites written in English everywhere. Try reading them slowly. When you see English outside your study time, it becomes more familiar and natural. I used to read anything I found: packages, posters, subtitles, because every small moment of exposure helped my brain get used to the language. These tiny moments may seem small, but they add up and help build your confidence without you realizing it. Practice using English on your phone or computer as often as possible. Send short messages in English to yourself. Make to-do lists in English. Search for things online in English. These simple daily actions train your mind to think in English automatically. The more your digital world turns into English, the faster your language skills develop. Another important habit is learning to listen actively. Passive listening means letting the audio play while you do something else. Active listening means you focus on the sound, the words, and the meaning. Both are useful, but active listening helps you improve faster. When you actively listen, try to catch key words, repeat phrases softly, and notice how sentences are structured. Over time, your ears become sharper and more sensitive to English sounds. Pay attention to intonation too, how the voice rises and falls. Intonation carries emotion and meaning. For example, when someone says, "really," with a rising tone, it often means surprise. When someone says, "okay," with a falling tone, it usually means they agree or understand. Understanding intonation helps you communicate more naturally, because English is not just about words, it's about how those words are delivered. Learning synonyms is also a useful habit. English has many words with similar meanings, and learning these allows you to express yourself more clearly. For example, instead of always saying happy, you can say glad, pleased, or delighted. Instead of always saying big, you can say large, huge, or massive. Learning synonyms helps you sound more fluent and flexible. It also makes your speech more interesting. Another technique that helped me was describing things in detail. For example, instead of saying, "I saw a dog," I would say, "I saw a small brown dog walking next to a little boy." Adding details helps you practice vocabulary and express your thoughts more clearly. It also improves your storytelling skills, which are very important in real conversations. Try to practice English with different moods. When you are happy, speak in English. When you are tired, speak in English. When you are excited, speak in English. Connecting English to your emotions helps you express yourself naturally. Language is not just about structure, it's about feeling. The more emotional experiences you attach to English, the stronger your fluency becomes. Another useful habit is creating small challenges for yourself. For example, you can challenge yourself to describe everything you do in the morning using English. Or you can challenge yourself to learn 10 new phrases a week. Or you can challenge yourself to speak for 2 minutes without stopping. These small challenges push you forward in a fun and manageable way. When learning becomes overwhelming, remind yourself that even native speakers learned slowly. They made mistakes when they were children. They forgot words. they misunderstood things. You're doing the same thing they did, just at a different stage of life. Thinking this way removes pressure and helps you stay patient with yourself. Another key skill is learning how to pause naturally when speaking. Many learners worry about sounding slow or unsure, but even native speakers pause often to think. Pauses give you time to organize your thoughts. They make your speech clearer. They help you avoid unnecessary mistakes. Practicing natural pauses makes your speaking sound calm and confident. Try to mix different senses when learning English. Use your eyes by reading. Use your ears by listening. Use your voice by speaking. Use your hands by writing. When multiple senses work together, your memory becomes stronger. This is why writing and speaking are so powerful. They make your brain and body work as a team. It also helps to prepare simple phrases for common situations. For example, phrases for shopping, meeting new people, asking for help, talking about your day, or expressing your opinions. When you have these phrases ready, you feel more confident in actual conversations. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need clear communication. Another important idea is to watch your progress, not perfection. Perfection is impossible. Progress is real. Look at how many words you know now compared to last year. Look at how much more you understand now compared to before. Look at the sentences you can make today that you couldn't make months ago. Progress is everywhere, you just need to notice it. One of the most powerful things you can do is remind yourself of your reasons for learning. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to study abroad. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to communicate with friends. Your reason is your motivation. When learning feels difficult, return to your reason. It will give you strength to continue. Try to build English habits around routines you already have. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, listen to a short English podcast while you drink it. If you go for a walk every evening, listen to English stories. If you take the bus, read a short English article. When English becomes part of your routine, it becomes easier to maintain. Another technique that helps many learners is imagining yourself speaking English confidently in the future. Visualization is powerful. Imagine yourself having a conversation smoothly. Imagine yourself understanding everything in a movie. Imagine yourself traveling and communicating easily. This positive image of your future fluency motivates your present effort. Try to practice speaking even when you don't know the perfect words. If you don't know a word, use a simpler one. If you don't know a phrase, explain it in another way. This skill talking around missing vocabulary is something even native speakers do. It is a valuable communication skill. Practice asking yourself questions in English. For example, what did I do today? How do I feel right now? What do I want to learn next? Asking yourself questions trains your mind to think in English quickly. It also helps you develop deeper speaking skills. Another powerful method to improve your English is storytelling. Telling simple stories helps you practice vocabulary, sentence structure, and creativity all at the same time. You don't need to tell long or complicated stories. Even short stories about what happened today, what you saw on the street, or something you remember from childhood can help you become more fluent. Storytelling activates your imagination and pushes you to use English in a more natural and spontaneous way. Try retelling stories you've heard in English too. For example, after listening to a short podcast or watching a short video, try telling the same story in your own words. You will notice which parts you remember well and which parts you need to practice. This exercise is extremely effective because it combines listening, thinking, and speaking. Another great habit is practicing English in small moments throughout the day. You don't need to sit with a textbook for long hours. Learning can happen anywhere and anytime. If you're waiting for a bus, read 2 sentences. If you're cooking, describe the steps in English. If you're cleaning your room, repeat new vocabulary out loud. These small, repeated moments make learning feel light and easy, but they help you progress faster than you might expect. Try learning English through topics you enjoy. If you love cooking, watch cooking videos in English. If you like technology, read simple tech articles. If you enjoy travel, watch travel vlogs or listen to travel podcasts in English. When you learn through things you're interested in, learning becomes exciting and effortless. Your brain remembers things better when it cares about the topic. Another helpful habit is practicing daily reflection. At the end of each day, take 1 or 2 minutes to think about your English for the day. Ask yourself, what new words did I learn today? What sentences did I say today? What did I listen to today? This reflection helps you review naturally and stay aware of your progress. You may be surprised by how much you actually learn each day when you take a moment to think about it. Try to include more English input than output at the beginning. Input means listening and reading. Output means speaking and writing. In the early stages, input helps build a strong foundation. It helps you understand how English works before you start producing it. The more you listen and read, the easier speaking becomes. This method is supported by many language experts. They say that large amounts of input help the brain absorb patterns naturally. But output is still important. Speaking and writing help you practice what you've absorbed. They help strengthen your active skills. The key is finding the right balance that feels comfortable for you. Some days you may want to focus more on listening. Other days you may want to focus more on speaking. Listen to your needs and adjust your practice each day. Another technique that helps many learners is using English to describe your thoughts, even if only inside your mind. For example, if you're thinking about what to cook, think in English. If you're planning your day, think in English. If you're feeling something, try naming the emotion in English. This habit slowly trains your brain to switch into English mode more naturally. Learn common connectors too, words like because, however, although, actually, in fact. And on the other hand, these connectors help you build longer, more natural sentences. They make your speaking smoother and more organized. When you learn connectors, you can express complex ideas with more confidence. Try to practice English at different times of the day. In the morning, your mind is fresh, so listening or reading works well. In the afternoon, you might practice speaking or writing. At night, you might review what you learned. Different times help your brain stay active and prevent learning from becoming boring or repetitive. Another important point is learning from mistakes, not avoiding them. When you make a mistake, Take a moment to correct it or learn the right version. This process helps you grow faster. Mistakes highlight what you need to work on. They make your learning more efficient. Remember, every strong English speaker today once made the same mistakes you are making now. It's also helpful to practice speaking slowly and clearly. Many learners try to speak fast because they think it sounds more fluent. But speaking too fast can make you sound nervous or unclear. Speaking slowly gives you time to think. It helps you avoid mistakes. It makes your pronunciation cleaner and easier to understand. Even native speakers speak slowly when they want to be clear. Try to expose yourself to English from different sources. Sometimes listen to American English, sometimes British English, sometimes Australian English. Watch videos from different speakers. Every accent helps you hear the language in a new way. This flexibility makes you stronger in real conversations because you become prepared for different voices and speaking styles. Another useful idea is to learn English through repetition with variation. This means repeating the same idea but in different ways. For example, I'm hungry. I feel hungry. I'm getting hungry. I could eat something. These variations help you understand how flexible English can be. They help you sound natural because native speakers use many different ways to express the same idea. Try practicing English while doing something physical, walking, stretching, or even simple movements help the brain stay active. When your body moves, your brain learns more easily. Many people find that speaking or listening while walking helps them remember better. Another powerful habit is noticing patterns in English. For example, many questions start with "do you," or "are you," or "can you." When you notice patterns, English becomes easier to understand because your brain starts predicting what will come next. This prediction skill improves your listening and speaking. Try to write short dialogues for yourself. Imagine a simple conversation between two people and write it down. Then practice reading both parts aloud. You can even act out the conversation. Dialogues help you practice natural conversation flow. Practicing pronunciation a little every day is also helpful. Focus on one sound at a time. English has many sounds that may not exist in your native language. Training these sounds slowly helps you speak more clearly. Start with small words and repeat them gently. Another great way to improve your English is to practice rephrasing. Rephrasing means saying the same idea in a different way. For example, if you want to say "I'm tired," you could also say "I feel tired," "I'm a bit exhausted," or "I'm low on energy right now." Practicing rephrasing helps you think more creatively in English. It also makes you more flexible in conversations because if you forget one word, you can express the idea using another phrase. This skill is extremely useful in real communication. Try practicing English with time pressure sometimes. Set a timer for 1 minute and talk about any topic without stopping. It can be about your day, your feelings, your plans, or even what you see around you. Speaking without stopping helps you think faster in English. It removes the fear of making mistakes. It pushes you to keep going. At first, it might feel difficult, but the more you try, the better you become. Another helpful habit is reviewing old vocabulary regularly. Many learners learn new words but forget the ones they learned before. To avoid this, Create a simple routine. For example, every Sunday, review the words you learned during the week, or every morning. Spend 3 minutes looking at your vocabulary list. Regular review helps you store words in long-term memory. Try learning English expressions that native speakers use, often expressions like take your time. No worries. That makes sense? Not really. I guess so, or kind of. These expressions are common in daily life and help you sound more natural. They also make conversations smoother and more relaxed. Another technique is listening to English while doing simple tasks. When you wash dishes, listen to a podcast. When you clean your room, play an English story. When you walk outside, listen to English music or a slow conversation. These simple habits turn ordinary moments into learning opportunities. Try practicing English with pictures. Look at a photo and describe everything you see: the colors, the objects, the actions, the people, the feelings. Picture description helps you practice vocabulary and improve your speaking fluency. It also helps you organize your thoughts more clearly. Another method many learners find helpful is keeping a phrase diary. Instead of writing only new words, write full phrases or sentences you want to remember. For example, I'm looking forward to it. That was unexpected. Let me check. I appreciate that. Phrase diaries help you learn natural language that you can use immediately. Try to listen to different types of content. Listen to news for formal language. Listen to podcasts for storytelling. Listen to interviews for conversational English. Listen to children's stories for simple vocabulary. Each type of content strengthens a different part of your English skills. Diversity helps you grow faster. Another great habit is asking yourself why when learning new words. Instead of just memorizing a word, ask yourself why it is used, when it is used, and how it is used. The more you understand the context, the easier it is to remember the word. For example, understanding why people say, "How's it going?" instead of "How are you?" helps you remember it better. Try using English to learn new things outside language learning. For example, learn simple cooking recipes in English. Learn daily routines, simple science facts, or travel knowledge in English. When English becomes a tool for discovering information, it feels more valuable and more enjoyable. Another helpful tip is reading the same text more than once. The first time you read it, you may not understand everything, but the second or third time, you'll notice more details, more vocabulary, and more patterns. Rereading helps deepen your understanding and build confidence. Try talking to people with different English levels. Speaking with someone more advanced can help you learn new words and hear natural structures. Speaking with someone at the same level makes you feel comfortable and relaxed. Speaking with someone less advanced helps you notice how much you already know. Each type of conversation teaches you something different. Another powerful way to grow is practicing English in your imagination. When you have free time, imagine yourself in a cafe ordering coffee. Imagine yourself checking into a hotel. Imagine yourself meeting a new friend and introducing yourself. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined practice. The repetition still helps you improve. Try to keep your learning environment inspiring. Use wallpapers with English quotes. Keep a small book near your bed. Put vocabulary on your desk. When your surroundings remind you of English, it becomes easier to stay consistent. Another helpful habit is slowing down when necessary. Many learners think they need to speak quickly to sound fluent, but fluency is not speed. Fluency is clear communication. Speaking slowly helps your pronunciation, helps you think calmly, and helps others understand you better. Try practicing English with background music sometimes. Gentle music can help you relax and remember more easily. It can make reading or writing feel more enjoyable, especially when you're tired. Another good technique is to connect new vocabulary to stories. For example, if you learn the word confident, think of a moment when you felt confident. When you connect a word to a personal story, it sticks in your mind much longer. Try listening to yourself speak and noticing the patterns. Maybe you repeat certain phrases often. Maybe you always start sentences the same way. When you become aware of your habits, you can slowly improve them. Awareness is the first step to growth. Another great idea is to practice English while doing something creative. You can draw, write small poems, or create simple comics. Creativity makes learning fun and helps your brain form stronger connections. Try reading out loud with emotion. If the sentence is happy, read it happily. If it's sad, read it slowly. If it's surprising, show surprise in your voice. This helps you understand tone and improves your pronunciation and expression. Another important reminder: don't expect yourself to understand everything. Sometimes listening will feel easy, and sometimes it will feel difficult. Sometimes you will understand a movie well, and sometimes you won't. This is all part of the process. Understanding grows with time. Try taking notes in your own words instead of copying exactly. When you rewrite information in a way that makes sense to you, you learn much more effectively. And remember, learning English is a long journey, not a quick race. You are building something valuable that will stay with you for life. Every day you practice, no matter how small, is a step forward. Another helpful thing you can do is to expose yourself to English in short, natural conversations. For example, watch videos where people talk casually about their day, their hobbies, or simple topics like food, travel, or daily routines. These conversations often use the most common and useful phrases in English, the kind that people use every day. When you listen to real conversations, you learn how people respond, how they ask questions, and how they react to different situations. This helps you become more confident in your own conversations. Try practicing English with simple routines. For example, create a morning routine in English. When you wake up, say to yourself, "Good morning, I'm getting out of bed now, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm making breakfast, I'm getting ready for the day." Speaking out loud makes English feel like part of your life instead of something separate. It helps you build fluency naturally. Another great way to practice is to pick a small topic each day and talk about it for 1 or 2 minutes. You can talk about the weather, your goals, your plans, your job, or anything simple. The topic doesn't matter. What matters is a daily habit of expressing your ideas. Each time you speak, you train your mind to organize thoughts in English. Try using English subtitles when you watch movies or videos. English subtitles help you connect sounds with words. They also help you understand conversations more clearly. As you get better, try watching without subtitles for a few minutes at a time. This helps you train your listening skills. Switching between subtitles and no subtitles is a very effective method. Another helpful habit is repeating short clips many times. Choose a clip that is 10 and 20 seconds long. Listen to it again and again. Try to imitate the speaker's tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. This repetition makes your speech more natural. Many learners improve their pronunciation significantly through this simple method. You can also learn a lot by observing the language structure of simple sentences. English often uses short, direct sentences in daily life. For example, I'll be right back. Let me check. Hold on. That's fine. I didn't know that. Understanding these small structures helps you communicate like a native speaker. Try listening to English at different speeds. Start with slow English. Then gradually try normal speed conversations. Your ears will adapt over time. The first few times might feel difficult, but your brain is stronger than you think. With repetition, what feels hard now will feel easy later. Another great idea is to use English to express opinions. For example, I think this is helpful. In my opinion, it's interesting. I feel that this is a good idea. Expressing opinions helps you build confidence. It teaches you how to speak with clarity and purpose. Try to pay attention to the natural rhythm of English. English has a musical quality. It goes up and down. When you notice the rhythm, your speaking becomes smoother. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to sound clear and natural. Listening carefully helps you understand this rhythm. Another powerful strategy is using questions to continue conversations. Questions like, "What about you?" "How was your day?" Or, "Really?" Why keep conversations going? They help you connect with people and practice speaking longer. Try setting a few English rules for yourself, such as, I will learn 5 words every day. I will listen to English for 10 minutes every morning. I will speak 1 minute of English before bed. These small rules keep your learning consistent and simple. Another important habit is noticing improvements in your listening. You might not understand everything, but you will notice that some things become easier. Maybe you catch a phrase you didn't catch before. Maybe you understand more without subtitles. These improvements show that your brain is adapting. Try writing short reflections after listening to a podcast. It can be just 1 or 2 sentences. Today, I listened to a podcast about travel. I learned the phrase, "take a break." It was easy to understand. Writing reflections helps you remember more. Another helpful technique is practicing English with different emotions and tones. For example, try saying the same sentence happily, sadly, angrily, or excitedly. This helps you sound more expressive and improves your pronunciation in a fun way. Try using English questions throughout your day. Ask yourself things like, what time is it? What should I cook today? What do I need to finish? Even small questions help your brain stay active in English. Another simple but powerful method is to keep English materials easy to access. Put a small notebook on your desk. Keep an English book next to your bed. Save English podcasts on your phone. When your materials are close, you naturally practice more often. Try to notice how English connects ideas. Words like so, then, after that, first, and finally help you tell stories or explain processes clearly. Native speakers use these connectors all the time. Another helpful idea is to focus on topics you care about. If you love music, learn English through music. If you love fitness, follow English fitness channels when you connect English to your passions. Learning becomes enjoyable and meaningful. Try speaking English while imagining that you are talking to a real person. Imagine their reactions. Imagine their questions. Imagine how you would answer. This mental practice prepares you for real conversations. Another important habit is noticing your strengths. Maybe you're good at listening. Maybe you're good at reading. Maybe you're good at remembering vocabulary. Focus on your strengths. They help you move forward faster. Try listening to the same podcast episode more than once. The first time, just listen. The second time, focus on keywords. The third time, repeat phrases. You will notice your understanding grow each time. Another helpful reminder: be patient with your mistakes. Mistakes are signs of progress. They show that you're learning something new. They show that you're trying. And trying is the most important part of learning any language. Another useful idea is to explore English through short summaries. After watching a video or reading a short article, try summarizing it in just 1 or 2 sentences. Summarizing helps you focus on the main idea. It teaches you how to express important information clearly and simply. This skill is incredibly valuable because real conversations often require you to explain ideas quickly. Try practicing English by comparing things. For example, compare 2 movies you like, 2 places you've been, or 2 foods you enjoy. When you compare, you naturally use useful phrases like both, however, on the other hand, or in contrast. These phrases help you sound organized and thoughtful. Another helpful technique is learning chunks of language short, meaningful groups of words that native speakers often use together. For example, at the moment, a little bit, kind of, as soon as possible, or for a long time. Learning chunks helps you speak more smoothly because you don't have to build every sentence piece by piece. You start to speak in natural units of language. Try reading simple dialogues and acting them out. You can act out both roles or even record one side of the dialogue and respond to it. This practice helps you understand real conversational patterns and common responses. Another great method is practicing prediction while listening. For example, when someone says, "Today I want to talk about," try guessing what they might say next. Prediction trains your brain to follow English more naturally. It prepares you for fast conversations because your mind learns to expect common patterns. Try repeating useful sentences in different contexts. For example, "I didn't expect that." Use it when someone surprises you. Use it when you receive unexpected news. Use it when plans change. Repeating the same sentence in new situations helps you understand how flexible English can be. Another important habit is listening to English while you relax. When your mind is calm, it absorbs language more easily. Listen while resting, before sleep, or during a peaceful moment in the day. Slow English podcasts are perfect for this because they are gentle, clear, and easy to follow. Try practicing English with simple if sentences. For example, if I have time, I will study. If it rains, I'll stay inside. If I learn 5 new words today, I'll be proud. These small sentences help you understand how English expresses possibilities and plans. Another method that helps many learners is shadowing short dialogues. Listen to a natural conversation and repeat everything you hear with just a short delay. This trains your speaking muscles and helps you sound more natural. Try paying attention to the small words in English. Words like up, out, off, away, and over appear in many phrasal verbs and common expressions. Understanding these little words helps you understand many everyday phrases. Another helpful habit is celebrating your understanding moments. These are the small but exciting moments when something suddenly makes sense. Maybe you understood a phrase in a song. Maybe you understood a joke in a video. Maybe you followed a conversation without subtitles. These moments show that your brain is learning and growing. Try keeping a record of your progress. You can write down new words, your achievements, or moments when you felt confident. Looking back on your progress gives you motivation to continue, especially on days when you feel tired. Another important idea is to use English as often as possible in real situations. If you travel, try speaking English with local people. If you meet someone new, greet them in English. If you're at a cafe, try ordering in English. Real-life practice builds confidence like nothing else. Try to mix serious practice with relaxed practice. Some days you focus on grammar or vocabulary. Other days you simply listen to a podcast or watch a show. This balance helps you stay motivated long-term. Another great tip is to make English part of your identity. Don't see it as something separate from your life. See yourself as someone who uses English, someone who grows with English, someone who becomes better every day. Try building your own small English world. Follow English pages, watch English videos, listen to English music. The more you surround yourself with English, the faster you improve. And now, as we come to the end of this episode, remember that learning English is a journey full of discovery, growth, and new opportunities. Every new word you learn is a step forward. Every sentence you understand is a small victory. Every moment you practice brings you closer to fluency. Think of your English learning like a path through a beautiful forest. Some paths are easy, some are harder, but every step brings you deeper into something meaningful. With patience, curiosity, and consistency, your path becomes clearer. Your confidence becomes stronger. Your voice becomes louder and more natural. You have the ability to become fluent. You have the ability to grow. You have the ability to reach your goals. What matters is that you keep moving forward, even slowly, even gently, just like this podcast. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today here on English in Motion. I hope today's Slow English podcast episode has inspired you, encouraged you, and given you practical tools to help you learn English faster and more naturally. If you enjoyed this episode, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more slow, clear English lessons. Your support helps this podcast reach more learners around the world. And remember, your English journey does not end here. Keep listening, keep practicing, and keep exploring. After this episode, you can continue learning by clicking on the next video or choosing another Slow English podcast episode from our channel. Each one is designed to help you grow step by step. Thank you, my friends, for being here. Take care, keep learning, and I will see you in the next episode.